You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show. The preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. The Chris Voss Show. Remember, the Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you but doesn't judge you, the best kind of family there is. Today we're going to be talking with an amazing author who has a new book coming out August 9th, 2022. I think you're going to want to hear from her. This is, I think this is another book from her. So we'll talk to her about what she does and how she does it. In the meantime, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Go to all of our groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those places that you can find the Chris Voss Show. Also, go see us at Chris Voss Leadership Institute.com and all those crazy places on the internet that we're at. Today, she's the author of the newest book coming out August 9th. 2022, You're Invited, the novel by Amaya Jayatissa, going to be on the show with us talking about her newest book. She grew up in Sri Lanka, completed her undergrad at Mills College, California, and lived in the UK before moving back to her sunny little island. She works as a corporate trainer, owns a chain of cookie stores, and is a proud dog mom to her 2 spoiled huskies. Welcome to the show, Amanda. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
And thanks for coming. Give us a .com where people can find you on the interwebs.
It's very easy. It's just my name, amandajayatissa.com.
And then this is your second novel, is that correct?
Yes, that's right. The first one came out in the fall of last year. It was called My Sweet Girl. It was also a thriller. And now You're Invited is coming out on the 9th of August. And I am, it's just 2 weeks before publication, and I'm steadily getting more and more excited as the days go on.
There you go. It's included as the most anticipated and summer reading list by BuzzFeed, The Every Girl, and I think Fodders. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Fodders?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fodders, whatever. So this is your second book. What motivated you want to write this?
Well, this one was written, interestingly enough, during lockdown. So I had to do something, right? So I was like, might as well write this book.
That was a thriller of itself right there.
Oh, yeah. I had the idea for it before lockdown, though. So You're Invited is based around a big Sri Lankan wedding. And I had the idea for it when I was at a big Sri Lankan wedding myself. I was sitting down, enjoying the wedding, admiring the decorations and, listening to the music and eating, of course, and admiring the beautiful couple. And just for a moment, my eyes just drifted over onto the groom's mother. And I saw it for just this second, this look of just frustration and anger just quickly fluttering over her face. She pulled it back very quickly, but I noticed it for just a moment. And I thought to myself, gosh, there must be so much that goes on behind the scenes of these big events. And then, of course, the thriller writer in me thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to throw in a dead body and see what happens? And so that's where the idea came from.
You're fun at a party.
Oh, yeah.
Let's throw in a dead body. So remind me I don't know about any wedding invitations I might ever get from you. Or inviting you to one I might have a wedding or something. Oh no, Sri
Lankan weddings, if you do get a chance to go for one, I always encourage everyone to go just because they're such it's in a league of its own, Wow. Its festivities it's just they just get wilder and wilder every year, I think.
So are throwing in dead bodies a regular thing there?
No, thank goodness. I'm yet to experience that. So far, that's only been in my imagination, thank goodness. The parties are great.
It's just when you reach the point where you're like, hey, let's throw a dead body with that. You're like, Hey, man, would you like some tacos? Can you throw in a dead body? Like, what's going on over there? I'm just teasing.
Just a little sprinkling of murder keeps everything fresh, you know?
Wow. Okay. There you go. Hey, folks, this is a quick break-in from the show. Hey, be sure to check out my new courses at chrisvossleadershipinstitute.com. That's chrisvossleadershipinstitute.com/courses, or you can just click the courses tab. You can see we've got new courses up for how to start a podcast and video training that can get you up to date on everything we're doing. Of course, my speaking, my coaching, and everything else. But be sure to check out the new course that we have up for starting your own podcast. After 13 years, I'm kind of sharing some of the secrets of what I know. So be sure to check that out at chrisvossleadership.com/courses. So talk to us about your main character, who she is, and what she's up to in the book.
Sure. So the main character's name is Amaya. She, at the time the book starts, she's living in LA and has cut ties with her best friend from college. But she finds out through social media that her ex-best friend is engaged to her ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
So, you know, she's feeling all the feelings and decides to fly down to Sri Lanka where the wedding is taking place in order to stop the wedding by any means necessary. Of course, the bride goes missing, presumed dead, and all fingers point towards Amaya, and she has to sort of prove her innocence, if she is innocent, and get herself out of this situation. So it takes place sort of in Colombo, in high society Colombo 7, which is a very interesting sort of little subculture, a little bubble of its own. And, you know, so there's a lot of gossip. There are a lot of these Sri Lankan aunties, you know, who say things like, I don't need to gossip, but, you know, just so you know, I heard this story about, you know, we all come across those well-intended sort of aunties with their words of wisdom. So I had a lot of fun writing it.
I'm learning a lot on this podcast. I'm learning a lot on this podcast. Never go to ex's weddings, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, that just seems like a bad idea on its own. But hey,
I mean, I don't know
she
why
had her reasons for going.
I don't know.
Why would you go? Right?
But just you know, I never thought that I would be accused of something. You know, I would go to congratulate, have fun with that. I celebrating. You have to deal with it now. I mean, I'd be kind of conflicted if I went to anyway. I mean, I have wonderful exes, but I'd be kind of conflicted. I'd be like, should I warn him or should I just
show up? Right?
Should I just hold like a funeral for him? Like isn't like see ya, bye. Have fun with that. But this is definitely a spin. The byline is she'll wish she'd never RSVP'd. So she did actually RSVP to the wedding, huh?
Oh, well, yeah, the marketing team came up with a little byline and we all loved it. Yeah. There's been a lot of interesting wedding puns that have come up.
I'm sure.
So I had someone say, like, the icing on the wedding cake is now she's accused with murder and stuff like that. It's been
there's like a wedding cake with someone with a knife going after the bride. That's always good.
Yeah.
I would go to that wedding. That sounds like fun, actually. As long as I'm not the one getting stabbed, I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go for the drama. Why not, right?
I knew getting married was dangerous, but Ben, you just took it to another level. I'm even more scared to ever get married now. So we can't, of course, give away the ending or the middle parts of the book, but what made you choose the characters? Was anybody in real life that you referenced the characters from, or any Hollywood stars that you were thinking of?
Good question. So Amaya, the main character, she is a very anxious sort of person. And well, we have this running joke, my husband and I, that I tend to sort of portray my main characters based off what I'm feeling at the time that I write the book. So I remember with my first book, my character was sort of very angry and frustrated, and that made sense because I was very angry and frustrated at the time I was writing. Like I said, with You're Invited, I wrote it sort of in the second year of lockdown when we were hoping, like, you know, early 2021, we were hoping things would get back to normal, but there was still not really, especially not in Sri Lanka where I live. And I was myself very, very anxious. So definitely there's a lot of that anxiety that seeped in through the book. But I can say that a lot of the more fun parts of the book, like the gossip, and especially the aunties, are definitely mixes of aunties that I have met in Colombo society, and the gossip, a lot of it is based on real stories that I have heard over the years. So if you ever read any of that and you think, oh my goodness, that is so over the top, a lot of it is actually things that we don't know if it has actually happened, right? But it's definitely things that people talk about.
Wow. Does your husband sleep with one eye open? I'm just curious. I would.
No, he's great. He's like, have you considered killing this character this way? So very, very supportive, which is great. Occupational hazards of living with a thriller writer means, it was really funny once. I remember he bought this big box. It was like a shipping container-ish box home. And, we took all the stuff out of it. And then he's like, hey, like, we should get rid of this box, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was staring at it for a while. And he's like, what? And I was like, you think a dead body could fit in there? Like, bless his heart. He gave me one of those looks like, are you for real?
Yeah.
No,
are you one of those?
He's very
Are you one of those folks who's always watching CSI shows? I know anytime I meet somebody who watches those CSI shows, I kind of have my eye on them.
Yeah, the CSI shows. Well, I also read a lot. I read a lot of true crime stuff, follow a lot of true crime accounts. I read a lot of thrillers. I read a lot of horror. I don't know. If you look at my sort of habits, you'd think I was a deeply disturbed person, but I promise you I'm really nice. A disturbed person would say that, though, right? And offer you candy. So, hey, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm starting to wonder. But no. With your first book, it was loved by readers, obviously, and did well. I imagine, what you were talking about earlier, where there was a lot of, angst and stuff during COVID lockdown. Do you think that contributes to a better thriller? Having that living in that kind of feeling?
I've definitely heard a lot of writers say so, and I think I'd agree. There's a sense of almost like claustrophobia that kind of ends up weaving in. And that's the thing with thrillers, is that they tend to work out when there are these sort of closed settings, feeling like they're closing in on you, maybe choking you with like that atmosphere. And a lot of the thrillers that I've read recently that I've felt that way, surprise, surprise, were written during lockdown. A lot of the thrillers coming out right now, I think, because of the timelines and the way publishing works, were books that were written, in 2020 and 2021. So
yeah. There's a lot of books that got written in I wrote my book in lockdown, but mine's not like a scary thriller. I don't know. Maybe there's some terror when you read my book. I don't know. Maybe there is terror. I don't know. No one's putting up a review yet that says this is completely terrorized. Did you write this during COVID? But yeah, we've had a lot of great authors on the show that they're like, I was locked down, so I wrote a book. And so it seems like, I don't know, maybe we need more lockdowns. We need more great books. Anything more you want to tease out, or you think any scenarios that are in there you can tease out that maybe can entice people to pick up the book?
Sure. So another big theme that sort of is woven in through the story is this idea of friendship breakups, or like female friendships and friendship breakups, which is an idea that has really kind of stuck with me for a long time. And I've been trying to figure out, I think, a way to weave it into my writing, because, if you look at the media today, or if you look at just the way we handle romantic breakups, we are very supportive of it, right? As a society, in the sense it's totally acceptable for you to sit out on your couch, eat a pint of ice cream, listen to, I don't know, Celine Dion or whatever romantic music you listen to, and cry, and all your friends will rally around you. And there is that support system when it's a romantic breakup. But I feel that something like friendship breakups aren't discussed enough, even though oftentimes they can be even more painful than romantic breakups. And when I look back on some of my own, on friends that that I'm sadly just not friends with anymore because of, numerous reasons. We've on different walks of life, or just circumstances are such. No murder, thank God. I feel like I have to put that in there. But yeah, these breakups really, really hurt, and sometimes have definitely stayed with me longer than any romantic breakups have. And I thought, because at its core, this is the friendship between two women, and almost the betrayal that you feel around, someone who was your best friend, who shared a significant part of your life with you, and now she's turning around and marrying your ex. Like, how could she? And how deeper is that betrayal almost than the betrayal from her ex-boyfriend? So it definitely does tie with that theme as well.
That's true. There's a real betrayal there that goes on. Does she? I don't know if you can tell us. Does she find out if maybe they were seeing each other the whole time that she was together with him, or? She finds out a lot of things. I'm not going to tell you what. Right. You have to read the book. You got to read the book. Wow. Okay, now people definitely want to order the book because they want to find out what's going on there. Well, it sounds wonderful. Anything more you want to tease out in the book before we go?
No, I think that's the main crux of it. I just want to encourage people, if they can. The book takes place in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an amazing, amazing place. If you ever get the chance to visit, you totally should. And if you get the chance to attend a Sri Lankan wedding, definitely go for it. I promise you, there's a 99% chance that there will not be a dead body. So.
It says here that are they normally a week long?
No, not usually.
Okay.
So it's a little different from Indian weddings in the sense that so Indian weddings have sort of a lot of different celebrations, and it's spread out over a week. In Colombo, traditionally, you would have the wedding, which is thrown by the bride's side of the family. And sometimes around that, you might have other little events like they would in Colombo High Society, as they did in this book, where they have various cocktail parties and bridal showers and bachelorette parties and the whole sort of works. And then the bride and the groom typically would go off on their honeymoon, and they would come back, and then the groom's family would throw a rivaling event where it is just as big, just as grand, just as over the top as the wedding itself, as their way of welcoming the bride into their family. So I think that a slight difference, I think, between Western weddings and sort of the weddings that you might see in Sri Lanka is that sometimes it's almost less about the couple and more about the families that are joining each other. And it's sort of a celebration of, two families meeting almost. And so there's a lot, as you can imagine, there's a lot of sometimes tension and this undercurrent of disagreements and things like that happen with it. It is never a relaxing affair, I don't think, if you're the bride or the groom or the immediate family. But they're always fun to attend. And hey, if you're a guest, definitely go for one.
Oh, I'll go as a guest so I can just watch
go as a guest.
I'll sit back and the bride's groom's brother got in a fight with the dads of the other ones, and because that's a whole mixing the families. That's kind of dangerous. It's like mixing two family reunions or something, right?
Yeah, of course. And you have to invite everyone. So, for example, when my husband and I got married, so in Sri Lanka, again, just a side note, in Sri Lanka, a small intimate wedding is 100 people.
What?
Yeah. You don't get, hotels won't have, venues won't have packages for less than 100 people most of the time.
Wow.
Well, and my husband and I, of course, when we were planning, I remember a long time ago when we got married, we thought this was preposterous. We were like, 100 people? There's no way. And we sat down, and if you just combine my family and his family,
holy crap,
you got your 100 people. And yeah, so it is. And I remember we invited maybe 130 people. It was something like that. And it was considered to be a very small, very, very small whole affair there. And like we had to leave people off the guest list. Some of them might still be mad at us. We don't know.
Yeah.
So
that reminds me, I should just get married or fake a wedding just so I can leave people off the guest list that I don't like, and I want them to know that I don't like them. That might be a thing to do. I don't know.
And then people will bring you wedding presents too. That's always a plus.
Oh yeah, wedding presents and stuff. In fact, I got people that send me their things for wedding presents, and I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. I'll send you a gift certificate to a divorce attorney. I don't know.
So romantic.
Yeah, well, it's an American thing. We love divorce over here. It's the latest rage. But no, that's crazy. I can't even think of 100 people I like that I'd want at my wedding. Like, I can't even think of 5 people.
We don't like all of them. That's not one of the things. That's a requirement, really.
There we go. Maybe, so you invite them to their wedding as punishment? You're going to have to buy me a gift, and you don't like me, and I don't like you. But you come to the wedding.
It's a family thing. It causes so much drama if you leave people out, and people get offended, and it's a whole thing. So. Yeah.
Or it's drama if they come and they get in a fight. Like maybe you're like, hey, we can't get married now because my mom got in a fight with your mom, and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong there. I think, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and that's why there's a thriller written about it now. So
it's probably why you guys get better marriages over there as opposed to America, because now you really have to be committed to that sort of thing. At the end, after there's been some sort of family brawl at your thing, we're like, well, we still love each other, so we really have to hold on to each other because we got them as relatives. Anyway, I don't know. Those are the jokes, folks. Those are the jokes. So it's been wonderful having you on the show, Amanda. Thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Chris. I've really enjoyed myself. I hope I didn't scare you too much.
No, I'm a continent away from you, so I'm good. But you seem lovely. It's just that anybody whose go-to is throw a dead body in there.
You never know. You never know.
If you ever come over to America, I'll just go to public places where you're at, like huge weddings. But yeah, we'll have to check out the huge Sri Lanka weddings. You got me intrigued now where I'd love to go be a fly on the wall on one. And I'd have to have like a mapping list of like who all the relatives are. And I'd be like, oh, look, someone's fighting over there. So there you go. Throw in a dead body.
It's less about the fights and more about the very judgmental aunties. I think that's the real fear, because they sort of sit there and you know that they're judging everyone that walks by. You can see the once over, like the ups and the downs and the whispering going on. Yeah.
Can you believe that so-and-so did so? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It's like, can you believe what she's wearing? Or it's like, the food is not so great, or it's always something. So,
wow. There you go. The aunties. That could be a whole book in and of itself. The wedding aunties. Like, what was that movie, The Wedding Crashers or something? There could be the wedding aunties book. And it's just aunties that go to weddings and cause problems and stir up rumors and trouble. That's a whole new book. That sounds like a thriller. And then you just throw in a dead body, as you put it. And away you go. So there you go, guys. Order up the book. Let's get your .com one more time so people can have that on the interwebs.
Sure. It's amandajayatissa.com. So it's just my full name. And if you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or any of those places, again, it's just in my full name, which is Amanda Jayatissa.
There you go. Pick up the book wherever fine books are sold, but don't go in those alleyway bookstores. They're kind of dangerous. You're Invited, August 9th, 2022 by Amanda Jayatissa. You can order up that book and be the first one to get it in your book club, so you can read it first, and then you can tell everybody what happened. I don't know. Don't do that. So we certainly appreciate you guys coming on the show today and tuning in. Be sure to refer the show to your family, friends, relatives. Go to all the places we are on the interwebs. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. Don't throw in any dead bodies, and we'll see you next time.